Reed River Riot have marched behind the Greenville Triumph all season, but tonight they march into Fan Appreciation Night behind a playoff clinched team as they face OCB Orlando City, trying to spoil the party in tonight's match presented by ScanSource. I'm Chris McCovic alongside me, Ross Davenport, looking over Legacy Early College. Paul Klaus and Aaron Walker, keys in the holding midfield, helping out this recent run of the Triumph, and he is our Piedmont Natural Gas player to watch. Paul Klaus, an excellent showing against Toronto FC2.
Yeah, he'll be missing his co-partner in the center of defensive midfield tonight, Aaron Walker, with the yellow card suspension, but the former Man City and Clemson star has been great.
He's been so important to the overall formation as well in this recent run of things for the Triumph. That continued against FC Tucson on Tuesday, a 3-2 victory for the Triumph.
Yep, Triumph got off to a great start here. Superb ball to the back post by Don Bowen to Cam Saul for the opener.
Yeah, we talked about Paul Klaus. He is our player to watch, presented by Piedmont Natural Gas. But Don Bowen, so important in the run of play in the FC Tucson match. In the build ahead, here's Cameron Saul, also eventually getting one.
Yeah, the Englishman got off to a slow start this season, mostly due to injuries, but the left footer, again, showed there he could score when he needs to be, and had two the other night. One
key to the Triumph's success this season, that's the first penalty allowed by Greenville all year to Jordan Jones. Got FC Tucson back into it, but Jamel Cox, the veteran, so important all season for FC Tucson, off the bench from his injury, he puts one home.
Yeah, discipline has been key for the Greenville back four. They fell asleep a little bit there, and that was a great finish by Cox, but here's the crazy finish to this one.
Just one defender there as Bowen brings it up ahead for Bermudez. He gets by the tackle, and he's off and running.
You could hear Lansing fans screaming no at this point because they knew what a win would mean for Greenville, and that was a clinch playoff spot, and still a shot at second place on a home semi.
Yeah, a chance at that home semi. That's what keeps that alive. OCB trying to spoil the party. One thing they have gotten going again is their offense, scoring a goal in each of their last 5. And of course, they have lost their last 7 since Sabaha took over.
Yeah, they scored in 5 straight games, but lost 10 straight coming into this one. Just looking to play spoiler tonight. They've got plenty of young talent on this team. Unfortunately, they'll be without the goal scorer there, Leo Siemens, who's out after getting red carded in the last one.
Yeah, discipline one issue for OCB all season, but Lucas Ontavera won the watch. 1 goal, 1 assist in his 4 starts since coming on for OCB. Orlando City B trying to spoil the party, but Greenville trying to celebrate, maybe get a home semifinal with a win tonight and a win against Tormenta. We'll see which one can give coming up here on ESPN Plus. Kickoff and starting 11.
Join Finn's Top Wash Club for unlimited monthly washes at one low price.
Finn's Car Wash, proudly created by AAA.
Play will continue. Keegan back across, it's in! Greenville on the board at home, it's 1-1.
So with all the games and the trainings that we have in this lovely South Carolina weather, recovery is obviously very important for us in order to be able to perform on the weekends. And we do a lot of different things as players in order to recover properly. A big thing that we do is we go to Upstate Spine and Sport with Dr. J and his assistants, and they do a great job for us. They do some chiro work, they do some cupping, they'll do stretching, they'll do massage, they'll do a lot of different things for us, and we go there Tuesday every week, and additionally if we need it before the game. And I think it's great for us in order to kind of get through the week of training, because it can be difficult, we push ourselves hard, and then to be rested and ready to go by the weekend.
It's only fitting that a city that has so successfully triumphed has a team that honors that.
Greenville back at home for the final time this season in the regular season. They hope maybe one more in the playoffs. Tonight our match presented by ScanSource. Orlando City B trying to spoil the party, coming over to the upstate of South Carolina. Now, taking a look at our starting 11s, brought to you by Bon Secours. We begin with Greenville, the home side. Pretty typical look that we've seen of late from Greenville.
Yeah, we might see a slight change in formation there with Aaron Walker dealing with yellow card suspension, obviously. Chris Bermudez comes in. We might see a bit of a diamond formation in the middle, perhaps with Paul Klaus at the bottom and Carlos Gomez up top.
They keep an eye on that overlapping run by Don Bowen on the right wing that's been so lethal in this last stretch for Greenville. On the other side, Orlando City B, and they bring a squad and kind of a limited bench out there, but the same faces we've seen of late.
Yep, Tanner Hummel comes in, the 23-year-old, at right back to replace Leo Simas, who we said again suspended due to the red card last week.
Lucas Severa, one to keep an eye on. The Argentine in the midfield, has experience in Europe and has come on of late. Started the last 4, make it 5 now for Orlando City B. Creative player that a lot of people here in League One do not know much about so far, and he could be a real precipice for the entire offense coming into the rest of the evening. There's Paul Klaus, our Piedmont Natural Gas player to watch in tonight's festivities. Again, our starting 11s were brought to you by Bon Secours. And Paul Klaus, a lot on his plate here tonight as the main holding midfielder out there for Greenville, with Aaron Walker out due to yellow card accumulation. Our keys to the game brought to you by McMillan, Pasden, and Smith Ross.
Yep, Greenville are going to be a little tired mentally, if not physically. This is their 3rd game in the last 8 days. They know what this game means, but also it's going to go down to that last game. So they don't specifically need a win here, but they've got to keep focused. And this Orlando City team can turn you over if you give them that chance.
Off and running here, Orlando City B and Greenville Triumph doing battle here on Fan Appreciation Night, final home regular season match for the Greenville Triumph. Again, I'm Chris Lakovic, alongside me, Ross Davenport. Happy to have you with us here on ESPN Plus. Fantastic crowd here at Legacy Early College, along with the Reedy River Ride standing in tow behind Dallas J. Cole Seiler stepping up, moving the ball along. Now Greenville, their last 14, second half of the season, 9-2-3, 30 points. They started the year, their first 12, with just 13 points. They've had a huge turnaround, and because of that, they're heading to the playoffs, but looking for a bit more tonight, Ross.
No, for sure. They'd love to be able to host a playoff game on this turf here at Legacy Early College. They've obviously got to win this one and then just match Lansing's result in that final weekend.
Ball out of play, no. Offsides is the call on J.J. Donnelly, who's still trying to find the back of the net for the first time as a member of the Triumph, but it's been so important in terms of hold-up play and his ability to stretch the field.
Here we see Chris Bermuda starting early on the left, Omar Mohammed on the right. That may change as this game goes on, as we've seen earlier the whole season. John Harkes will flip his wingers if he feels like it's necessary.
Greenville defeating Orlando in their other 2 matchups of the season to this point. If you remember back, last one in July here at Legacy Early College. That was a 3-hour weather delay, and then Greenville getting a late goal from Aaron Walker from outside the box, getting the 3 points, a huge one late in that match, as Tyler Pollak will step up. Captain for tonight's match, Aaron Walker, of course, out, the co-captain on the squad. Pollak had to serve a suspension of his own for yellow card accumulation a few matches back. Our injury report from Upstate Spine and Sport. Again, Jake Keegan and Max Hemmings out for the rest of the season with injuries. And on the other side, Orlando City B, a few of their own. Osei Wusu, so key to the attack throughout the year, has missed the last few due to injury.
Yeah, Osei Wusu, key part of this Orlando offense. The defense has been the problem, but the offense has picked up lately, and Osei Wusu has been a little banged up the last half of the season, unfortunately.
Wilfred Williams hasn't had too many appearances this season, but a lethal fullback that can launch up the field for OCB has not been with them here in the last few. On Tavero.
Another one I mentioned for Greenville, not on that injury report because he's on the bench tonight, is Kevin Pollak, the center back for Greenville. Been dealing with a couple of niggling injuries over the last few weeks. They didn't miss him though, have they, the last couple of games? And we'll see if we can see an appearance from him late this evening.
Ball swept in, volleyed away by Evan Lee. That's one thing John Harkes told us about this week. With 3 matches in 7 days, how does he evaluate maybe the rotation of the squad and towards the playoffs now that they know they're going to be a part of it?
Yeah, but unfortunately, as John Harkes always reminds us, they have one of the smallest rosters in the league, so rotation isn't always easy for Greenville now, especially with Kevin Pollak out. That back 4, even though he's rotated players in and out, has been so solid, and it all starts with Dallas J.
Cole Seiler there playing center back today. He's played center back, right back, and defensive midfield all through the year. One of the more versatile players for Greenville, along with Dom Bolin. Bermuda's up ahead, picked off in time by Brandon John, and it's back with Greenville going the other way in the green and blue. Back to Dallas J, fresh off a visit to Tucson on Tuesday, a team he spent time with in USL League 2 a few years ago, before being with their affiliated club, Phoenix Rising, as a backup keeper. Ball over the top, J.J. Donnelly on the run, couldn't get there. Gomez strikes it, but a dribbler wide, well wide of that left post.
Yeah, Gomez has been getting on the score sheet a lot lately. He's been pushing forward along with Aaron Walker and Paul Klaus, have also been finding plenty of scoring chances. Good opening chance there.
Sade, the keeper for Orlando today. And you can see there the real feature of Fan Appreciation Night, according to everyone really here in Greenville, the bobblehead of John Harkes. And John Harkes telling us this week he's getting some love from his friends over in the United Kingdom as well. They want one.
So you might have to spend a little bit on postage in the next couple of weeks, John Harkes. And maybe we'll see a few of those on sale on the internet tomorrow. You'd have to think, you know, going to be a prized possession for many of these Greenville fans. Nice little giveaway in this final game.
First 2,000 fans at the match tonight. Got to take those home. As Tyler Pollak takes it in. Looking upfield, the captain almost losing it to Ontivero, but it'll shove it out of play. There's John Harkes. Again, the former U.S. men's international player. He's brought his talents over to the Carolinas.
One thing John Harkes wouldn't tell us midweek, though, is if he thought it looked like him. I think his friends and family will give him opinions on that when they get them in their hands, that's for sure.
On the other side, Roberto Sabaha taking over on July 25th. The former Orlando City SC U19 head coach spent 5 years coaching at United Football Academy in Georgia before coming on to the Orlando City system. His team 0-7 since he took on the challenge, but a rough season for OCB, trying to evaluate things into next year for 2020. As this ball is knocked all the way back to Pollak.
Yeah, these players still have a lot to play for, even if they might not find themselves on the OCB roster next season. They're playing for a job somewhere else, you know. All these guys, a lot of these guys have one-year contracts, especially in audition this whole season.
That's one thing, if you talk to any of the League One coaches throughout the league, they say you never know who's watching you in some of these matches.
Well, especially at this point in the season when OCB have nothing to play for, you're going to be looking for those guys that are giving that full effort, even regardless of that they have nothing to play for.
Third downfield, out of play, and we'll go back to the Triumph with Cole Seiler. Orlando City B trying to break their recent run. They've lost 10 straight. They're last in the league in points per game at 0.5. Their last result, Ross, way back win on July 10th, 1-1 against Chattanooga.
Yeah, it's been a rough season, but it's good to see them back playing professional soccer. They obviously took the year off. It's good to see them back in the professional leagues. And again, these guys playing for a contract and perhaps a spot on that Orlando City team at some point down the road. That attacking midfield four has got plenty of talent on there. Souza, Ontivero.
Here comes Gomez up ahead. Donnelly, the break maybe for Greenville. Donnelly the strike, but again it'll hit the left signage and go out of play for Greenville.
I'm surprised J.J. Donnelly didn't look for a slight slip through pass there. He had plenty of help on his left-hand side here, as you can see, with Gomez, and Cam Saul was screaming for it, but J.J. Donnelly was intent on putting that one.
A Bon Secor replay showing that shot going wide left. Greenville second in the league in shots per game, third in shots on target per game. OCB 8th overall in the league in shots on target per game with just 3.4 per match.
Those stats are amazing for Greenville when you consider what a slow offensive start they got off to this season. They've been stellar over the last second half, but the fact that they're second on shots on goal is amazing.
Yeah, way back when, April 6th, they had the 2 goals against Lansing in the first ever home match for Greenville. That was the only time in the first 11 games of the season they had 2 goals or more in a match. But since then, in the last 15, Ross, 7 multi-goal games for the Triumph side.
It's been a complete turnaround, and I think we had faith in John Harkes when in our midweek conferences he would always tell us, and he was telling the boys that it would come, and just have patience, and it certainly has come, the offensive magic that is.
Amir moving it out left. Here's Randy Mendoza. Serginho stepping up. Serginho a go. Lofts it up. Curling out of play and over the left side here of the field. And Jay will have a goal kick.
You need to close him down a little quicker there. This is what happens when you lose we're used to playing 2 central defensive midfielders there. And only the one, Paul Klaus, on the closing down there, but it's a little late. Not the best of shots in the end, but plenty of space there. A little too much for John Harkes' liking, I'm sure.
Evan Lee works it back over for Greenville. Lee down the far flank. He'll find Donnelly. Here's Bermudez. Through ball ahead. Saul's there, but Mendoza as well. He'll clear it out of play.
Yeah, good help over there from Mendoza from his left back spot. Had to be quick. nick that one off the toes of Cameron Soul, who's been on fire these last couple games.
Pause in the action as Pollak gets set for this throw-in. He'll be allowed to now.
Something that John Hart said he would like to see a bobblehead of is Tyler Pollak with his bald head and his beard.
Bermudez stepping up, chips ahead. Donnelly on the run. Brought down, and it will be cleared in the end by Jordan Hill. Hill, the former pride of Davidson College, not too far away. Donnelly tips it ahead, but it will be taken back by Hummel. Out for a goal kick. You can see the Triumph car in the distance, driven in by Joe Irwin, of course, ahead of the match, and pretty good weather for that here today.
Yeah, Greenville fans will be hoping they see that car one more time this season.
And the enticing part of that is Lansing does not play this week. They're already at 27 matches played. They have a rivalry battle, 3 p.m. Eastern time, coming up next Saturday, October 5th, the final match day for the League One regular season against Madison. You really have to keep an eye on that one. Right now, it's in Greenville's control. 2 wins, their final 2 matches, and they are hosting a semifinal. But anything goes wrong this match or against Tormenta, things still in play depending on what Lansing does in that match.
Yeah, you know Greenville wants to keep things under their control. They don't want to have to wait and see what happens in that Lansing match next week.
Tavero, again, 1 goal, 1 assist in his 4 starts. And he'll get a free kick out of that one against Evan Lee.
Referee Kevin Broadley, we're looking at some of his stats before this game. He's given out 5 reds this card and averages over 5 yellow cards a game. So that tells you that he's not going to put up with any nonsense. And Evan Lee just a little too physical there on that tackle, and Greenville will have to be careful. They don't want to pick up any cards and get anybody in trouble of potentially missing that match next week.
Austin Ammer and alongside him, Tavero standing over the ball. Ammer will take it off of Bermudez. This is a corner kick upcoming for the away side.
Yeah, worth a strike from there, I guess. You never know what's going to happen. Dallas J is not going to get beaten from there too often, but get a deflection like that. Luckily for Greenville, it was almost 30 yards out and not any closer.
See that on the Bon Secours replay, working into a corner kick for Orlando City B. 22 goals this season for the away side. Tavera over at the Argentine, lining it up. He'll drill it in. Cleared away just as quickly, though, by Pollak.
Going near post, where we saw Greenville give up a recent goal on a corner.
There's a free kick from the right wing that did Greenville in against Toronto FC2. No worries here as they streak down the other way. Gomez on the run. Donnelly, but just behind the forward of Tormenta 2. And it's back with Orlando.
You don't see the counterattack too often from Greenville, but if you want one guy leading it, it's Carlos Gomez, that's for sure. And this pass was just a little off target.
Foul called on the tackle from Bolin. Back the other way comes Souza. Graniter threw the ball a bit too far ahead on the communication. Back to Pollak and Greenville.
Yeah, a little sloppy there from the 16-year-old.
Select is the official ball supplier of USL League One and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit SelectSportAmerica.com. That Select ball working its way back to Randy Mendoza as he'll work it up the left flank to Souza. Orlando City B yet to see a road victory this season, 0-11-1. Tavera lofting it near side. There's Bolin, gets a tackle going, but Souza threw it. Still Souza, through ball ahead. Mendoza cuts it back. Lofted over, headed up and away by Gomez. Bermudez has to clear. Luckily for him, off the away side, and it's a goal kick.
Yeah, we see Thiago Souza there popping up on the left side. He can also play right wing as well. He's a dangerous talent. It's a dangerous ball to that far post, but dealt with by Greenville. I think looking for the offside on this play initially, but nice cut back by Mendoza and a decent right-footed cross to the back post.
Bon Secours replay. Bermudez getting the touch off Graniter and out of play. Will be a goal kick for Dallas J on his side. Currently the leader in the Golden Glove race here in League One by about a .3 GAA. Hernandez up over to Pollak, and this Greenville defense with him at the back, a .68 GAA this season. By far leading League One at that mark. Headed on out of play, and it's a throw-in on the far side. Brian Silvestri of Madison seeing the closest mark to him at about .9 this season, and he's only seen about 15 matches played overall for Madison along with that. Donnelly lofts it in, grabbed out of the air by Chade, who has enjoyed his time between the pipes along with Herrera from time to time. Herrera getting the start the last time these two teams played, of course saved that Keegan PK in the first half.
Very different goalkeepers. Herrera, the lanky one, and he's stopped some great penalties this year, Herrera. Great natural shot stopper, especially for a big guy. Think of the shot stoppers as being the smaller keepers like Shadow, but yeah, two decent goalies for Orlando. Good to see them both getting time.
Yeah, you're not complaining if both your top two choices at keeper are 6'2" and 6'7" as your shot stoppers out there. Pollak, left side, he'll loft it down. Saw on the run, so is Hill. He'll guide it out of play. It's a throw-in towards the final third for the Triumph. Pollak, now Gomez. Gomez hot of late, of course. Player of the week 2 weeks ago here in League One. Bermudez up ahead. Lofts it over. The save by Chade. May have been a target at that back post of Donnelly. Nonetheless, a stop for OCB.
Yeah, strong punch away by Chade there. JJ Donnelly still looking for his first goal this season, but he's been a menace off the ball. Makes great runs, and he's had a couple of great chances as well. I remember that one against Madison off the bar.
Pollak can't get to that one. It will roll to the end line with Granitor out of play. See the rolling here, and it will be a corner kick to Orlando City B, but laying the load is the former Creighton player.
No-nonsense tackle there from Taylor Pollak. Back to that chance here. A nice ball crossed by Bermudez, and Chade had to get a good hand on that one to knock it away.
Second corner kick so far for Orlando City B. Both teams getting off 2 shots to this point. Both off target. Serginho over this one, the Brazilian. Making appearance number 24 of the year. He has 4 assists to his name. Puts it in, cleared away by Pollak, and he'll get right back to this, put another ball in. Headed up and away by Donnelly. Gomez, Bermudez takes it, so is Donnelly there. Credit to Orlando, quickly getting numbers back. And Souza will calmly put a header back over to his keeper.
Yeah, probably not the smart decision there by Bermudez. That was going to have to be a pinpoint pass if it was going to get all that distance and over to Saul.
Through ball up ahead. Again, some miscommunication on the far flank for Orlando leads to a throw-in. Here, a look at our Bonsecourt replay.
That's Tyler Pollak saying, here, 16-year-old, take a seat.
Pollak, the former St. Louis FC player. 7 appearances with them last year. He's started 25 matches now for Greenville this season. Only missing 1, and that was yellow card accumulation a few weeks ago. Here's Souza. He'll rip into this one. Oh, what a stop by Seiler. Taken with ease.
Yeah, we asked John Harks midweek who perhaps would be his MVP this season. He didn't want to pick anybody in particular, but I think if he was really honest, he would have to say Tyler Pollak. He's been a rock at the back. He's the captain of this team, and it all starts with him and Dallas J in that stout defense.
Ontavero losing the ball there, but he does win the foul, and John Hark's going through us and really giving a reason why everyone on the team deserves it. But just from our conversations all season, anytime we bring up Tyler Pollak, he mentions best left back of the league by far, and of course he also mentions Dallas J and the fantastic story he's put together coming from all of his backup roles professionally. This is his first starting opportunity, and he's taken it so well here in 2019.
Now, every time we've had questions this year about who's going to step up, whether it's to score the goals or supply the goals, somebody has stepped up on this team. They're one of the real true teams in this league.
Orlando digging from the back, as Hummer takes it in. Souza lofts it ahead, knocked down by Klaus. Still alive, Mendoza cutting in, looking for the angle. He'll launch one, but right to Dallas J in between the pipes.
Yeah, I don't see too many fullbacks cutting in like that and getting a chance from the top of the box, but not the best of strikes by Randy Mendoza, probably on his weaker right foot. Dallas J in the right spot at the right time, as he has been most of the season.
Mendoza, just like Dallas J, a California native, spending his college years at UC Santa Barbara. Gomez, good footwork there, working it ahead to Bermudez. Now on the left wing, we'll see that change come between Bermudez and Muhammad at times. Bermudez lofts it in, headed away by John, up into the fans, as it will be a throw-in in the final third.
There's been so many key goals this season, but you have to think Chris Bermudez with his two. One against forward Madison, that one the other night, definitely two of the biggest goals of the year for Bermudez. And he stepped up, whether it's off the bench or from the starting lineup this season, the youngster.
Goal kick here for Orlando City B. Funny thing is, as well, he rung one off the post at Montverde Academy against OCB earlier this season, a mirror image to that Madison goal. He should have 3 arguably on the year.
No, for sure. He's had a couple of games where he's been denied by some great goalkeeping saves as well.
Chade will take this goal kick. A look at the TR3A, the Triumph Mobile, as we call it. Joe Irwin drives onto the field ahead of every match, except if it's raining. Takes care of that car very well. It's always at least under a tent at these matches for the fans to enjoy.
I have noticed tonight is not near the goal. Maybe that's a result of how many goals Greenville have been scoring lately. He doesn't want to take a dent in the door, that's for sure.
Pollak back over to Lee. All the way back to Jay. Fans, you can continue to enjoy the USL on ESPN through the 2022 season. The USL is excited to announce that the championship and League One will remain with the leader in sports for 3 more years. ESPN Plus will continue to be the home of all things USL, and at least 19 games a year will be featured on the ESPN family of networks, including 9 games on ESPN Deportes. Continue to follow, support, and watch your club on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Again, one more match coming up in our triple header at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Tucson and Madison doing battle. If Madison wins in that match, they are the 4th and final team to make the League One playoffs.
Yeah, something crazy always seems to happen in those late games, and obviously if you don't want to stay up for it, you can always watch it tomorrow morning when you get up on ESPN Plus. That's one of the great things about the ESPN Plus. And I learned today what sprint football is by looking at the schedule for today on ESPN Plus.
There's Sean Harks. Communicating to his side, always a one to tinker things out on the field and adapt things as the game goes along. And I'm sure, Ross, you sent many people to Google saying sprint football because everyone did not know what it was.
Listen, you got to learn something new every day, and today I learned what sprint football was. Unfortunately, I'm not eligible to play sprint football as I'm above the weight limit, which I think was 178 pounds. Quite a bit above that weight limit, unfortunately. Is there a thing called jogging football? Because if there is, I'm up for it.
Jogging rugby.
Jogging, there you go.
Up and out of play, throw in for Pollak on the far side.
You can see this crowd filling in tonight nicely.
Donnelly, quick turn, trying to draw the contact out of play. No, it stayed in by Hill, and that a pretty clear foul on Donnelly, headed the other way.
I think he was just frustrated that JJ Donnelly had no idea how that ball didn't go out for a corner.
Good work by Hill there as we check out the Bonzacor replay.
Just a little lean in by the Englishman there.
Chade will take it. Spent last year in Brazil playing in Serie A and spent time with the U17 Brazilian side at the 2015 FIFA U17 World Cup. Klaus scoops it ahead. Bermudez losing it there on the challenge, and a foul called against Hill. Paul Klaus, born in Manchester, England, but certainly has called South Carolina home for quite a while. The 2015 ACC Midfielder of the Year with Clemson over his 4-year career as a Tiger.
Yeah, losing finalist back in, I think it was 2015 against Stanford. So he's dealt with some playoffs in the past. Won twice on penalties in that postseason, did Clemson. Although Klaus didn't make one. I think he took one, actually.
Headed on by Seiler, but scooped up in the end by OCB. Sade can get out there and make a miraculous save. We've seen him a few times this year. He's up to 67 himself this year. Osternamer. We'll see him dictate traffic in the midfield. Spent last year with Reading United AC and USL League 2, 3 appearances. Mendoza City B trying to create here their last in League 1 in shot on target percentage. So not had the accuracy, a lot of shots from outside the box, and that's something we've even seen from the Triumph of late. Muhammad. Scooped downfield by Boland. Hold up play by Donnelly. Klaus. Maybe something brewing here for the home side here on Fan Appreciation Night. Pollak up to Seiler. He's one to step up the field if he can.
We haven't seen a repeat of that legacy leap since he scored that great goal here at the other end in this end, obviously.
Lee taking it in again. Greenville and OCB doing battle here from Legacy Early College in Greenville, South Carolina. And Greenville fresh off of clinching a playoff spot on Tuesday against Tucson. Today, their mission really to lock up a home semifinal. A win today, a win against Tormenta next Saturday, and they will do so. I'm Chris McCovic alongside me, Ross Davenport. A good showing by Greenville at home, especially in the second half of the season. Of course, that goal differential really helping them out as we head towards the end of the campaign.
You see there with OCB only the 1 point on the road tonight, so, 1 point on the road this season. Greenville will be really wanting those 3 points and expecting it. The longer they go without the goal here, though, things might start to get a little nervous.
Klaus, back over to Seiler. Cameron Saul, he has 2 this week, a brace against Tucson.
If you have time, go watch the team put out a nice little video of Cameron Saul and where he came from and his background up on social media. It's a nice little piece.
Bermudez loses it. He'll get back to it. Top of the box, over towards Muhammad. Couldn't get there, and it's back with Orlando. Souza dictating through traffic, and he'll loft it to the far side. Seiler will have to handle this. Header on. Jay, tough spot, but he'll volley it over to Evan Lee. Three players for Greenville making Team of the Week honors in week 26. Klaus, of course, the player of the week, but also Gomez once again, Team of the Week honors with 1 goal, won 10 of his 11 duels against Toronto, and then Saul as well putting in a goal. Cameron Saul, a bit of a hot player at this point, 3 goals in his last 2 matches. Donnelly almost losing it. Couldn't keep it alive there. No teammate there to help him out. Klaus couldn't win the ball against Ontivero.
Greenville doing a bit of ball chasing at the moment, which is, I'm sure, exactly what Coach Sabaha would like to see. His team coming in with some tired legs, and Orlando, one of the youngest teams in the league, got plenty of energy. This Greenville team needs to be run around by this OCB side if they're going to want to open some of those gaps, especially later in the game, perhaps.
Lofted to the far side towards the Greenville bench, and it's back into the possession of Pollak. He'll get the throw-in on the far side. Orlando City B, their last win coming on June 7th against Madison, 2-1. That's the type of team they can beat with this squad. They have great talent overall.
Saw John Harks there sort of signaling to his team to move the ball a little quicker. Been a little sluggish here in the first half hour.
That's one thing we talked about with John Harks, how much fatigue would play a factor. 3 matches in 7 days, this being the last one, of course. But not too many changes out in that lineup. Of course, Aaron Walker taking a seat on the bench due to that yellow card accumulation, but acting sort of as another set of eyes for the coaching staff, according to John Harks.
Whistle for something.
Pause in the action as we'll check in on things on the near side as Thiago Souza is down for Orlando City B. He may have to get tended to here in the 30th minute. Indeed, he will. Souza, a key set-piece taker for Orlando City B this season. 6 goals, 1 assist to his name for the young Brazilian.
Early to be cramping, but it's perhaps more of an ankle issue.
Coaching moment for both sides, including Roberto Sabaha, his 8th match at the helm. Souza looks all right, at least for now, on the near side. Souza will have to take a brief step off before he's allowed back on. Looking for the latest USL League One news and content? Follow at USL League One on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for exclusive access and updates. Again, you can check out on USLLeague1.com or on the social media the playoff chances for all the sides entering this week. Of course, Tormenta with the loss today to Toronto FC2 out of it. And it was a great run for John Milracy's squad at the beginning of the year, but frustrations down towards the end, and really from talking to John Milracy, he sees it more as a good experience for his squad. A lot of young talent, players fresh off of the college days, and that's one criticism by some of the college system here in the United States, is that it is a shorter season. You don't get that pro atmosphere, but they got it this year, and certainly they'll bring great lessons into the 2020 campaign.
Yeah, we talked to some of these coaches over the last few weeks about how these younger kids have been dealing with a longer season, and getting those 28 games under your belt certainly sets you up well for next season.
Back all the way to Dallas J. Lee will take it in here in minute 32. Recap so far. Chances by both sides, but nothing really key in towards goal. 5 shots for OCB, 1 on target. 3 for Greenville, 1 on target. But Greenville has kept a majority of the possession to this point. As Boland here, and Greenville will have a free kick.
Tom Boland was initially thinking about taking it quickly, but he got a little shove in on Souza there to send a little message.
Here's Gomez, 2-man wall in front of him here in minute 33. Gomez lofts to the left side of the box, headed up by Siler Donnelly, then punched away by Sade. And it looks like a corner kick for Greenville, is it?
Maybe.
No, back to Orlando.
Offside maybe on the header? I'm not sure what the call was. That seemed to be what the referee was signaling.
We'll see where the ball is placed. That's an interesting call there. Taking a look at it on the Bon Secours replay.
Call Salick, yeah, looks like JJ Donnelly might have been offside on the initial header. Interfered a little too much with Sade on that one.
So first corner kick of the night, still evading Greenville. As Lee bodying away, here the threat. A good touch there from the center back.
Yeah, really right, enjoyed that one.
But Grew there at the top of the formation for Orlando, the number 9 out there. Showed his prowess with Birmingham in USL League 2 last year. Muhammad tries to cross it, deflected out of play by Hummel, and it's a throw-in quickly taken. Pollak whips it in, headed up and away briefly. Back over the left back for Greenville, ahead, shot coming and just wide.
As we thought we might see, Omar Mohamed switching over to that left side and causing some havoc. It was a nice tackle by Tyler Pollak to nick that ball into Cameron Saul just wide.
Just skimming, really, the far post on the Bon Secours replay.
Yeah, Sade didn't even bother going down for it. He was clearly quite sure it was going wide. It was close enough to give him second thoughts about it.
Here in the 35th minute, it remains 0-0 between Greenville and Orlando City B.
Yeah, Cameron Saw was, if you watch that piece that they did on him this week, he was talking about how he was a midfielder most of his career until he got to Lenore Rhine, and his 1 year there, he said, you look like you could be a striker. And obviously showed he can do that here at the professional level just as well as he did in college.
A player that's really come on of late, and you hated to see it early on in the season. He and Amundo Robinson dealing with some nicks here and there on the injury report. Coming on of late, both of them really adding to this attack when they needed them most, with Jake Keegan being out for the rest of the year. Muhammad, 1v1 on the far side. He'll whip it in. Chance coming. Donnelly couldn't get there. Souza trying to get it out. And indeed, it will be launched downfield by OCB.
Greenville starting to play themselves a little more into this game in the last 5 minutes. They got off to a good start and then slowed down a little bit, but starting to press further and further forward now. It's Don Boland on the right.
They'll launch it in from the end line, put across. Donnelly almost there, but OCB got there first. It's Brandon John on the play.
Yeah, Don Boland's been a real revelation this season. He's really brought in as a sort of fullback depth at the fullback position, but he's proved to be a capable midfielder as well. Obviously picked up a few assists this season.
Scotsman with 4 now on the year. LaGrew stuck in the corner against Lee and Muhammad. And it will be a corner kick, third of the night so far for the away side.
We'll see if OCB go front post again.
Montevero heading over to take it. 1 assist this season. Spent 3 years with Galatasaray. Spent most of that time on loan. Didn't play really for the actual squad other than a handful of matches. One of those loans spells out to Montreal Impact in 2016. He'll whip this one in, headed away by Pollak, again going at the near post like Ross mentioned.
Yeah, Pollak was ready for that one though.
Really a fortress here with the Reedy River Ride. The last 4 home matches for Greenville, 3-0-1. Foul called on Klaus, and a yellow card immediately shown by the Englishman, to the Englishman, I should say.
Well, if we were going to pick somebody for the card-happy Kevin Broadleaf to give a yellow card, you'd probably have guessed it would have been Paul Klaus. So we'll get another look at that. He doesn't agree with the decision. I'm not sure whether Broadleaf had a great look at it from his angle, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, it was a bit of an elbow to the back of the head, but whether that was a yellow card foul, I'm not sure.
5th yellow of the season for the former DC United draft pick. So it'll be 10-2 on the far side. That is Ontivero. And a tough spot here for Greenville. This is nearly the same spot that gave up a set-piece goal to Toronto with last Friday.
Yeah, again, just like the corners, you'd have to expect this one to be going towards the near post as well.
There's Paul Klaus, the player of the week here in USL League One, but also finding himself in the book here early on.
Yeah, Kevin Broadley's given 7 or more yellow cards in 3 of his matches. He spent most of the time in the USL Championship this season, and so you have to expect that won't be the last yellow card we'll see tonight out of his pocket.
2-man wall for Greenville. Is this the time to strike for Orlando City B, trying to spoil the party here on Fan Appreciation Night? Striking it in, but well off the target and out of play. It'll be a goal kick for Dallas J.
Yeah, wasted delivery there. '39th minute, stays 0-0 between these two sides.
Last time these two teams played, it took until minute 84 for the first goal. But Guru back the other way around Klaus. Doesn't have much help so far up ahead. He will find the right wing though. Granitor cutting back over. Knocks it ahead. Back to him. Hummel launching it in, but Dallas J right there.
Saw Omar Mohamed getting back into helping his own box. Just got to be careful. He gave away that handball on Tuesday night.
Mohamed, the Ohio native, looking around and finding the left wing with Pollak. Met by Hummel.
Tyler Pollak getting forward. He hasn't been doing it as much in the second half, I don't think, as he was in the first half. They gave away, I think perhaps since that 3-1 loss to Tucson where they got beat on that one counter-attack goal. And fullbacks have been staying a little back, further back than they were in the first half of this season, excuse me.
The Gru hold up play, moves it near side. There's Thiago Souza, went down briefly a few minutes ago, but back on, looking good. Cut back around and move it centrally. Coming up, we'll have the Wood Creek Dental halftime report. We'll take you through some of the top storylines throughout the league, including our 3 playoff teams that have clinched so far, and Madison hoping to come and be number 4 to the party. Their matchup against Tucson later tonight, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN+. And a goal kick in the end as Lee was tugging the left arm just a bit of Ontivero, and the Orlando players, that's where the appeal for penalty came from.
Everybody's hearts were in their throats there for a second when the referee pointed, but luckily he was pointing at the 6-yard box and not the penalty spot. As you said, Chris, discipline has been a key factor for this Greenville defense this season. Only the 1 penalty allowed, that was on Tuesday night.
It's been so important to their success. Orlando on the other side, they've conceded 7 PKs, but only 3 goals allowed along through that bunch, having saved 2 as well, including 1 against Greenville this season. Ontivero. Lee. Shoves this downfield a long ways, but headed out. A good play on the ball as Mohamed with the throw-in. Bermudez, room on this near flank. Boland overlapping. Bermudez knocks it in there, and Donnelly couldn't get there because of a strong play on the header by Jordan Hill. It's a corner kick for Greenville upcoming. And that corner kick brought to you by Finn's Car Wash.
Yeah, Chris Bermudez brought it back to his favorite left foot. What a key flick that was by Jordan Hill. JJ Donnelly was waiting there to pounce on that one and power it home.
Gomez will take the Finn's Car Wash corner kick. We'll see if Greenville can strike first with their first corner kick of the night here at home. Gomez, 5 assists on the season along with his 6 goals. Lofts it in. Donnelly heads it on, but got too much under that, and it sails out of play harmlessly.
Donnelly with some space there around the penalty spot, but was sort of moving away from goal. It was going to be difficult for him to get empowered to put that past Sade.
Donnelly unable to get enough power on that one, as some air maybe getting under that service from Gomez. Seiler stepping up more into the midfield. Saul, quick turn on the run. Cameron Saul, but deflected up and out. We'll have another corner kick here for Greenville as Saul trying to get the heat check going.
And looking for this late goal in the first half. Taking a look at it. Cam Saul on his favorite left foot. Good striking. Deflected away for the corner.
Second corner kick of the night, also presented by Finn's Car Wash. Gomez. Whipped in. Back post Lee, but shoved away by Sade. Evan Lee, a point-blank opportunity, but putting it right in the middle of goal.
Yeah, Evan Lee, the center back, in there for his heading ability, but found himself acres of space at that back post with a chance to put it on goal with his foot. First time attempt, it was always going to be a difficult one as Brandon John comes in there with the diving, sliding stop attempt.
Third Finns corner kick of the night coming, and it'll be a short one from Muhammad up to Bolin. Bolin lofts it in, backside, headed on, and a foul is called against Seiler towards the end line. A free kick here for Orlando just before the break.
Yep, I assume that was just a shove on Cole Seiler. There's Evan Lee there with, again, set up that nice goal against Toronto FC with the hold-up play right around the penalty spot.
This free kick for Orlando will bring us into stoppage time here from Legacy Early College. It will be 3 minutes, presented by Warehouse Services Incorporated.
3 minutes of stoppage time for the first half.
Pollak over to Klaus, and he'll work it back as Greenville trying to get out of the pressure quickly. Maybe Orlando on the road can strike just before half. Serginho on to Vero. There's Hill under pressure, stopped. Maybe a break for Greenville. A good stop by Serginho. Throwing on the far side for Pollak. Bowen. And Jay will clear this into the night. Serginho. Austin Ammer. Up ahead, good combo play, but foiled in the end by Evan Lee. We'll try out the right flank as we tick down to about 1:15. Lofted down the right flank. Look for the offsides call. They didn't get it, but luckily a bad touch by Grew. Pollak will clear this down the field. Serginho. Through the traffic, there's Muhammad. Advantage played. There comes Greenville. He goes down, and the whistle will be blown. So one final set piece before the half coming for the Triumph, and the yellow card shown as well as Muhammad goes down.
Omar Mohamed on his horse, and
Ladies and gentlemen,
it's a clear yellow card foul there.
There's Tanner Hummel, the Kennesaw, Georgia native, getting his first of his League One career.
Tanner Hummel in the 47th minute.
Chance here for Greenville to loft one into the box. It's been a pretty even half, and one shot on goal for each team. Hasn't been much flow to the half. It's been a little stop-start, but Greenville, I'm sure John Harkes will be giving it to his team at halftime and saying, need a little more urgency here in the second half. We're going to pick up these 3 points.
Gomez to Boland. Looking for a target towards the box. He'll loft it in. Headed away. Muhammad. Klaus stepping up. He'll fire! And just sailing wide. And that will do it for the first 45. It ends on a chance for Greenville, but add it to the list. 8 shots in total, but just 2 on target, Ross, as we head to the halftime break.
Yeah, OC have looked good here in the first 45 minutes, and Greenville, the one that really, obviously the ones that need this win more than Orlando, and will have to come out firing in the second half. They're going to keep control their own destiny.
Reedy River Ride and those at home will see if Greenville can put in the second 45 that brings a goal against Orlando City B. Coming up, our Wood Creek Dental halftime report. We'll check out highlights and stats, but also the playoff race here in USL League One. So far for Greenville, 0-0 on the board, but looking to maybe get a home semifinal. They need a win tonight. We'll see if they can get it coming up in the second 45.
Join Finn's Top Wash Club for unlimited monthly washes at one low price.
Finn's Car Wash, proudly created by AAA.
Play will continue. Keegan back across, it's in! Greenville on the board at home, it's 1-1.
So with all the games and the trainings that we have in this lovely South Carolina weather, recovery is obviously very important for us in order to be able to perform on the weekends. And we do a lot of different things as players in order to recover properly. A big thing that we do is we go to Upstate Spine and Sport with Dr. J and his assistants, and they do a great job for us. They do some chiro work, they do some cupping, they'll do stretching, they'll do massage, they'll do a lot of different things for us, and we go there Tuesday every week, and additionally if we need it before the game. And I think it's great for us in order to kind of get through the week of training, because it can be difficult. We push ourselves hard, and then to be rested and ready to go by the weekend.
It's only fitting that a city that has so successfully triumphed has a team that honors that.
Welcome back here into our Wood Creek Dental halftime report between Greenville and OCB at the half. And Greenville, Ross, a fantastic match on Tuesday. They got the win, but very exciting if you're a soccer fan tuning in.
Man, you don't see too many soccer matches finished like this one, but it was a great start for Greenville in this one. A lovely ball over by Don Boland at the back here for Cam Sol.
Yeah, Don Boland, an excellent match in the assist category, and he's been so strong since moving up to the wing position for John Hark's squad.
Yeah, this was another nice goal here. Cam Sol sees his first attempt saved, but then nice, cool, calm, collective finish with his stronger left foot here for the Englishman. Yeah,
someone that John Harks has said has made the most of his opportunity, and with Jake Keegan being out, but Don Boland as well starting this attack.
Yeah, who thought he would have got the assist out of this? Chris Bermudez on the run, shrugs off that tackle, and then an empty netter to secure a playoff spot.
Don't worry, he ran all this way, and he did tap it home. Chris Bermudez, his second of the season, and maybe the one most memorable to Greenville Triumph fans here in this 2019 campaign, clinching a playoff spot. And so far in our triple header Friday, halfway through exactly at this point between OCB and Greenville. But so far, Tormenta, unfortunately a disappointing second half of the year, comes to an end as they lose to Toronto FC2 earlier today.
Yeah, they got off such a great start, but yeah, one win in their last 15. And yeah, hopefully we'll see Tormenta in the playoff mix next year.
An enticing matchup coming up, finishing off your night out west. It's Tucson, Madison, a win in that one. Madison clinches the fourth and final spot in terms of playoff contention here in USL League One. One team not worrying about things this week, they don't even play, is North Texas SC. They clinched a few weeks ago, and Ronaldo Demos and the gang doing so well offense, defense this season. And they will be hosting one of those semifinals for sure as we head into the playoffs coming up in 2 weeks.
Yeah, definitely a nice time to have a week off, get those muscles rested, and you've already got those two, the home semi and the home final if you get there clinched.
And North Texas so strong this year, they'll end their season next Friday against Tucson, which should be another fun battle between two of the top offenses here in League One. Lansing, another top offense. They also clinching last week here in USL League One, and they've been fantastic here under Nate Miller of late.
Yeah, well, everybody's going to be looking forward to, I think, this Lansing-Greenville matchup in the semis. They haven't played each other in so long that they're almost two different teams and both on fire.
And I'm sure we have a lot of members of the assembly line tuning in tonight to see if Lansing can hold on to that number 2 spot and keep Greenville away. Right now it's in the Triumph control as we head through the rest of the night.
Johnson, though, going to hurry things up. Tenorio give it a blast. Goal!
Clever will take a shot. He fires it home for a classic.
Cicerone to the back post. Sliding it in. What a start for St. Louis. Tyler Blackwood.
Wharton and Espria in it as well. Williamson strikes and puts it in. A fourth for T2 on a beautiful strike.
Asante saved by Cochran.
And a save by Morton.
Through and a diving stop.
Punched away by Laurel. Follow. Can't save Laurel. And this. It's a hammer. Oh, that's an important intervention by Logan Ketterer.
Knocked on. Klaus fires and back of the net. Paul Klaus. Final here. Ball swept in. Headed on, up and in, and just like that, Toronto answers.
Ball played forward up the side. Moon trying to drop it back. Tries the left-footed shot and finds the back of the net. Nick Moon in stoppage time in the first half, breaking the deadlock. Rayo now for Rodriguez, going for that top corner. What a save by Silvestre. The midfield for Richmond. Calls for Wheeler Avenue, and a shot saved by Fitzgerald. Still around the box for Chattanooga. The shot by Caparelli's pushed aside by Herrera. Austin Amer.
News and notes from around USL League One. Again, the big story heading into the playoffs outside of that fourth and final spot. Lansing and Greenville, who hosts that second semifinal.
Yep, the question is, will it be on the turf of Legacy Early College or on the grass up in Lansing?
Player of the Week honors going to Paul Klaus, along with the battle still going on for that fourth spot between Chattanooga and Madison. Paul Klaus, of course, a goal and an assist against Toronto last week in the 3-1 victory for Greenville. Looking at the goals leaders from around USL League One, it's been all Ronaldo Dema's second half of the year, and it continues to be so with about 4 goals on the lead over Perusa as we head into the final weekend.
Yeah, I think Demas has got this one in hand, and it's more impressive when you consider that he didn't feature much in the first few matches of the season.
Yeah, Ronaldo Demas really coming on as well when they needed him, with Ricardo Pepi seeing more time with FC Dallas. Dallas J leading the GAA department over Brian Silvestri, .68 mark, .93 for Silvestri, who has seen 15 starts this season for Madison.
Yeah, slightly different haircut these days for Dallas J than in that photo, but the same old solid defense is in front of him. There's back four, and I think he might be buying that back four some gifts after the way he's performed this season with that .680 GAA.
Of course, Greenville leading the league in clean sheets with 13. The playoff race still raging on here with the League One standings, as it is Tucson and Madison doing battle later tonight on ESPN Plus, and Madison, with a win in that matchup in Tucson, can clinch that fourth and final spot. Otherwise, Chattanooga is still in play tomorrow.
Yeah, Greenville fans will certainly be cheering for Tucson in that one later this evening, because if Madison doesn't pick up a win in that one, we'll go to that last game of the season where Greenville will need them to do something against Lansing, especially if Greenville don't win this game.
And as we mentioned, one more match coming up later tonight. It's Tucson-Madison late night League One at 10:30 Eastern Time. 2 matchups during the week, Wednesday and Friday in League One, but a great slate. The final match day here of the 2019 season coming up.
Yeah, that Lansing forward match next weekend will be especially interesting if they both have something to play for in that game. And then the last game of the season for Greenville at South Georgia Tormenta, and we could see if they get some fans down there from Greenville to Georgia.
And Tormenta trying to play spoiler as well in that rivalry battle. Here's the updated standings after the Tormenta loss to Toronto earlier today, and there's that battle, 4v5 for the final spot in the playoffs.
Yeah, great to see things coming down at the end. It's been a tight race here over the last couple of months. There's no doubt about that.
As we continue our Wood Creek Dental halftime report, we'll have highlights and stats next from Greenville.
Join Finn's Top Wash Club for unlimited monthly washes at one low price.
Finn's Car Wash, proudly created by AAA.
Play will continue. Keegan back across, it's in! Greenville on the board at home, it's 1-1.
So with all the games and the trainings that we have in this lovely South Carolina weather, recovery is obviously very important for us in order to be able to perform on the weekends. And we do a lot of different things as players in order to recover properly. A big thing that we do is we go to Upstate Spine and Sport with Dr. J and his assistants, and they do a great job for us. They do some chiro work, they do some cupping, they'll do stretching, they'll do massage, they'll do a lot of different things for us, and we go there Tuesday every week, and additionally if we need it before the game. And I think it's great for us in order to kind of get through the week of training, because it can be difficult. We push ourselves hard, and then to be rested and ready to go by the weekend.
It's only fitting that a city that has so successfully triumphed has a team that honors that.
Welcome back here into Fan Appreciation Night at Legacy Early College. We finish off our Wood Creek Dental halftime report looking over the great fans here. 0-0 though, the triumph in Orlando City B at the break as we head into our first half highlights brought to you by KW Beverage. Not too much there, Ross, because the zeros on the board here at Legacy Early College.
Yeah, it wasn't the most thrilling of 45 minutes, so only real half chances for either team.
Greenville saw the majority of the possession early on, but just could not find a good chance there on Chaja, who had a few good opportunities of his own there to push the ball away.
Yeah, it was a good solid punch away to make sure that ball didn't get through to J.J. Donnelly at the back post.
OCB has tested Dallas J as well, mostly from the outside at this point.
It's maybe one of the best chances for Orlando. Cutting back inside there was Randy Mendoza with the right-footed strike. Wasn't anything to trouble Dallas J, though.
A curling ball finding the opening arms of Dallas J. Gomez scooping this one in on the free kick. A few of these lofting balls causing havoc for OCB, but again, not able to find a good chance on target was Greenville.
Yeah, both teams have just really limited themselves to half chances. This is the ball bouncing around the box, and this will play with the best chance for Greenville, just wide by Cameron Saul.
I'm surprised he didn't see his fourth in the last 3 matches with that one as it skimmed the far post.
Corner swung in, and Evan Lee finding himself in a very unusual position with his foot at the back post. Tried the first time effort, but that was always going to be a difficult one to get past Sade, and here's our halftime stats.
Our halftime stats here presented by Sierra Nevada as Greenville and OCB knotted up 0-0 at the break. Greenville a few more chances, and those better ones came towards the end of that first half.
Yeah, John Hawks will probably stick with things for probably 15 minutes or so here in the second half, and then at some point you think you're going to have to try and make some offensive changes to spark something up top.
And we'll see what they can do there as Greenville missing Aaron Walker here tonight. It's been a big piece of the central midfield, causing a formation change to 4-4-2, which is kind of the issue so far, at least to your belief, Ross.
Yeah, I think when you've settled into that formation that's been so effective, when you change it up even just slightly like this one, going to that one defensive midfielder and perhaps the diamond formation, Carlos Gomez has had to kind of worry about his defensive responsibilities a little more than normal, and he's disappeared a little bit in this game. Hopefully we'll see him come out a little bit more in the second half here and push forward. Yeah,
so we'll see if John Hartz maybe tinkers with things a bit out there as we look at our triple header. This midway point of that triple header really dead even with 3 halves gone, 3 to come. And you can tune into Tucson and Madison, maybe deciding the final playoff spot as we head into the late night stages of this League One Friday. Just one matchup tomorrow on ESPN+. Chattanooga and Richmond will go at it. And the only match on a Saturday in League One, kind of weird, but fun here on Friday at least with 3 matches. We started in Toronto, we'll end in Tucson, currently in Greenville, where Cameron Saul stands over the ball.
Yeah, with the primetime Toronto, we should talk about 4 p.m., right? Primetime East Coast, and then we'll have primetime West Coast later.
It's a matinee. It's a matinee. That's where we started in Toronto, winning that matinee 1-0. As Cameron Saul will stand over Toronto, they'll battle Richmond as well on Wednesday on ESPN+. Cameron Saul, 3 goals in his last 2 matches. Former Player of the Week 2 weeks ago here in League One.
So we're just missing our referee, Kevin Broadley. Oh, there he is. The whistle goes, and we're ready to go here.
And we're off and running here from Legacy Early College. It's Lee lofting the ball down the left side. headed up and out of play. Greenville with the throw-in, and we'll see if attacking the end of the Reedy River Riot will give them some luck here in the second 45.
As we said earlier, if Greenville don't win this matchup, they can still obviously get that second spot. They would just have to match whatever Lansing do next week against Madison.
Bermudez. Boland. Souza. Getting it back over for Orlando City B, but stuck in a heap there around Bermudez. He'll sweep it downfield, but Gru's there, knocked on by Seiler. Here comes Dom Boland, the Scotsman, down the right flank, grad of Limestone College. Knocked on by Saul. Here's Muhammad, brings it down. Muhammad strikes it, and just over the crossbar.
Yeah, almost looked like he was trying to place that one in the top corner instead of just giving it a good old smack, but good early chance for Greenville, showing their attacking intent here in the second 45 minutes.
Bon Secours replay showing that going up into the Reedy River Riot. And this is kind of how Greenville came out firing against Toronto last week. They put a goal on the board via Cameron Saul, the assist from Paul Klaus, but gave one up just moments later on a set piece to Toronto. So we'll see if we have a similar case here today. Both teams can get some energy. So far, it's just a triumph as we continue into minute 47. Foul called, and it's back to the Triumph. Again, our head official today, Kevin Broadley. Already 2 yellow cards, 1 for either side as we continue into the night. Evan Lee works the near side. Here's Muhammad. Gomez. Either work the give and go with Saul. They'll find Donnelly though. Back across. Here comes Boland. He keeps it in play. Strikes it over. Over everyone. Muhammad near side. He'll cut it back across. Gomez. Platter. Klaus, but up and back out. A corner kick coming for Greenville as Paul Klaus looking for another just like last week.
Yeah, I thought Omar Mohammed might have a crack there from the left side. Instead, look back for Paul Klaus. Greenville just trying a little too hard to find that open shot. It almost looked like how they looked at earlier in the season and a little scared to shoot. They need that goal here.
And Muhammad and Bermudez love those angles on their shots, but he chose to give it off to Klaus at the top. Good coverage in the end by Orlando. It's a Finn's Car Wash corner kick. Here, number 4 of the night for Greenville. Gomez will take it. Whipped in back post and headed up and out. A goal kick is ruled, and it's back to Orlando.
That's a bizarre decision. The ball clearly came off an OCP head. I thought maybe the referee's going to check with, maybe he's going to check with his linesman, but I thought that came off an OCP head. Get another look at it here in a second, hopefully.
It looked like it did.
The way the Greenville players are reacting, they clearly agreed with me.
I mean, in the jumbled mess of the back post, if there's a foul, then yes, it is Orlando's.
I mean, there's no doubt about that. I'm not sure what Kevin Broadley was looking at.
Nonetheless, it's back to Orlando, and it is a goal kick for Sade. Making his 17th start of the season. Headed on by Seiler, a powerful header. Donnelly plays it ahead. Here's Cameron Saul. And the pressure won by Brandon John. He'll heave it to the near flank where Muhammad will take a throw-in.
Yeah, well defended there by Brandon John. He wasn't going to allow Cameron Saul to get his body on the other side of him and perhaps unleash a left-footed shot.
Klaus up ahead, but Donnelly a bit early on that run. Klaus. One of 2 players on a yellow card so far. Hummel is the other. Muhammad, overlapping run, Pollak towards the end line. Hummel's there, knocks it out of play. And it looks like a corner kick, indeed it is for Greenville. 5th of the match to this point. And again, presented by Finn's Car Wash.
It's interesting to see the setup from Greenville. On the last corner, they were packing the 6-yard box. Now they're sitting a little deeper, looking to make the run. See where they are by the time Carlos Gomez swings this one in.
The Spaniard, Young Harris College player.
And there they are, packing the 6-yard box again. It's an interesting setup.
Over everyone though, headed on up. Brandon John, another great stop out of play. And just like that, another Finn's Car Wash corner kick for Greenville.
Greenville do like to throw that back post corner in there occasionally, looking for the header back across goal and to create havoc and sort of a little bit of confusion in the defense.
Unselfish move there by Evan Lee, giving the ball off to Chris Bermudez, trying to get that header on target. Omar Muhammad will take a breath here and let things develop. Lee back post put in and scooped up and over. Oh, Cameron Saul right on the doorstep, but he's left knocking.
Well, the corner worked exactly how it's supposed to, and Cameron Saul, it was almost harder to miss that than score it. 3 yards out, cleared the crossbar.
Evan Lee there choosing to give it off to his teammate. May have had a shot at that near post. Sade lines up this goal kick. We're moving to minute 52 here from Legacy Early College. Again, Greenville 7-3-3 at home this season. Orlando City B yet to win on the road. Out of play via Cole Seiler, the Anderson native. Ontavero, met by Lee. Mendoza helping out the effort down the field. Goes down, and a pretty clear foul with the arm extension by Don Bolins. Some retaliation between the two.
Not the first time those two have clashed this evening. We saw Bolins shove Mendoza earlier. There's a clear foul there by the Scotsman.
Don Bolin, 4 yellow cards this year. Randy Mendoza, 1 yellow card, 2 reds in the 2019 campaign. Serginho over the ball for now with the wall developing for Greenville. It's a really awkward angle. Saw Arturo Rodriguez score a goal against Tormenta 2 weeks ago from nearly the same spot. It's an awkward read for the keeper. See how Dallas J handles it. Ball whipped in, deflected on through, and up and in for Orlando. They have scored on Greenville. Jay the full extension, but just could not get there.
It was an interesting delivery by Orlando, not the trademark. You would think looking for a head, and somehow that ball snuck back in past Dallas J inside his far post. I'll have to see exactly if it cliffed up somebody perhaps. But OCB fans are happy, as will Lansing Ignite fans.
A really tough read there for the keeper, and Dallas J just catching it a little late. It found the back post, and that's where it was put home.
Yeah, I think I misspoke earlier when I said that even if Greenville didn't win this one, they would just need to match. It was if they win this game, they would just need to match Lansing in this last match, and that was, yeah, may have got a touch by somebody there at the front post. Looks like Begru's claiming it, I think. Another another near post set piece that's undone Greenville.
It's being given to William Begru, at least for now, and that for him would be his 3rd of the season. Took another deflection at the end, so I'm not sure if Jordan Hill got a touch to it. They were celebrating around Begru, so we'll say at least for now that he is the goal scorer. On through, Bermudez brought down by Brandon John, and a yellow card given to the St. Vincent and Grenadines player. It's a free kick just outside the box for the Triumph.
Yeah, well, just what you want here, an immediate chance to return the goal. You see who steps up. Looks like Carlos Gomez is going to want this one. Omar Mohamed might try to talk his way into it. I think Greenville would find themselves 3 points behind Lansing with 1 game to go if they lose this one. So it would need Lansing to lose that final game against Madison, which is why that game tomorrow is so important. They need Madison to be having something to play for in that final match, you would think.
We'll see what they're thinking here. Klaus, Gomez, Muhammad, Pollak all standing over the ball. And a large wall developing for Orlando. Again, Begru getting the goal, but that really created by Serginho, putting a tough ball in against the Triumph. And Orlando City B going up 1-0 on Greenville.
You would think this shot sets up better for the left footer Mohammed. Looks like he might be the one to strike this.
Omar Mohammed trying to tie things back up here at home. Mohammed puts it in off the wall. Pollak, Gomez, working against Souza. Knocked out of play, it's a throw in for Greenville. Bermudez lofts it in, the shot is there, and they'll bring it on home. Greenville trying to get the momentum back here on Fan Appreciation Night after that goal by Bagru. If you're just joining us, a free kick from the left wing going on past Dallas J on a deflection on through. And here is the keeper for the Triumph. Orlando getting set to make a substitution as well, as it will be their first of the night. Oncoming will be Mbuyu, out Graniter, a like-for-like switch in the attacking midfield. Serginho in possession. And Orlando in control here on the road, looking for their first road victory of the season.
The Reedy River Riot in full voice now as they try to drive their team on here. They don't want to make this the last home game of the season, that's for sure.
John Harkes mentioned it to us this week. What he really wanted was a clean sheet. Well, this is the third straight match now that the Triumph will not get a clean sheet, which is a real storyline considering they lead the league with 13 this season.
Yeah, the loss of Kevin Pollak, though, is a big one. John Harkes mentioned in the call this week that he's probably the best one-on-one defender he's seen, and he's been missing him for the last 2 games now.
Here's that substitution we were just talking about. Mbuyu coming on, the Charlotte native. Big South attacking player of the year in 2017 while he was at Liberty. He's won a goal this season for OCB.
Yeah, Mbuyu has scored goals everywhere he's been. Cracking goal he scored earlier this season too.
Graniter of Vero Beach will make way for Mbuyu's 18th appearance here in 2019. '58th minute, ticking into minute number 59 here. Orlando City B taking a 1-0 lead here into the second half. Pollak, the throw-in right by the corner flag. Hill will take it after Donnelly tried to knock it on, but flew right on by. On Tavero, losing it to Saul. Up ahead steps Bolin. He'll take a whack, sliding on through, but no one there in time, and it's out for a goal kick for Orlando.
And it was well kept in there in the final third by Cameron Saul. Didn't see Don Bolin shoot too many from there this season. A decent strike.
Fans of USL unveiled its elite youth platform, USL Academy. This allows clubs at all levels across the USL to develop its local youth and compete at the highest level across the United States, including the USL Academy Cup. For more information, visit uslsoccer.com/academy. Lee heads it down, knocked on by Bermudez. As you can see, not really familiar territory this season for OCB when scoring first, but they do have 3 wins, 2 draws when they do so. Greenville on the other side, they do have 1 comeback victory this season, 1 comeback draw. We can see in the first goal, that comeback victory coming all the way back in the inaugural home opener for the Triumph against Lansing. They went down 1-0 early via Ricky Lopez-Espin, and then 2 goals later on, including one in the final 10 minutes by Kevin Paulitz at the near post on a corner. Down the left side, here comes Orlando. Bermuda's a good touch, getting it back over to Seiler, and we're hearing from the sideline that Orlando getting set to make their second sub already. Foul is called. on Bagru on that late challenge against Bermudez. And the forward for Orlando is down. The sub will come on now. And it will be Rafael on to the match, the Brazilian and former DC United draft pick.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Substitution for Orlando.
It will be Ontivero coming off, who has really dominated the midfield at times in this match, but it will be Rafael Santos on to try and replicate the same doing.
Yep, some attacking substitutions from Orlando showing they're not going to sit back and dwell on this 1-0 lead. See how long it takes John Harkes to respond.
Rafael does have 2 goals this season. Donnelly can't handle the ball, goes out of play. And Orlando a throw in here in minute 61, now 62. Again, a reminder, Aaron Walker not with the Triumph tonight. On the field, at least, due to yellow card accumulation. A few matches ago, they had to deal with Pollak. Now Walker, their other captain. Donnelly, quick turn, and hitting the left post. What an opportunity for the new striker, but can't find the back of the net.
It would have been a very timely first goal of the season for JJ Donnelly. Didn't look like he was going to be able to get enough power in it from the position he was in and being 25 yards out. But it was a decent strike and just skimmed the outside of the post.
Donnelly now making start number 6 with the Triumph. Still unable to find the back of the net. But has been a key addition at the top, especially with Jake Keegan done for the season. Foul the other way on Cole Seiler, won by Bagru. Free kick the other way for Orlando. As we take it to minute 63, keep in mind Greenville has scored 14 goals this season in the final 30 minutes. They have 31 total, so that's about half their offensive total this season. And keep in mind a game like the 4-0 win at North Texas a few months back. Most of the action for them came in the second half. They're a team, as we said, John Harkes liking to adapt to the situation. We'll see how he does so as we continue into the night. This goes back to the Triumph.
See a bit of urgency now with Greenville. They know what this means to their chances of getting a home playoff game. If they lose this game, they would need Lansing to also lose that final game, and Greenville would have to win down in Tormenta. If they can get back this draw, though, Lansing can draw that final game, and Greenville obviously still have to win in Georgia.
That match against Tormenta going to be the 5th time those two teams face in all competitions this season. And so much on the line for Greenville. Tormenta, unfortunately, playoff chances gone with the loss today to Toronto. This out of play. Goal kick coming for Sade. And Kevin Broadley coming up and saying, enough's enough to Sade.
It's a little early to Sade be time wasting, considering this team has nothing riding on this result.
Whack downfield, right back to the Triumph, at least briefly. Hill knocking it on, Bermudez. Here's Lee stepping up.
Yes, yeah, just how deep Orlando have been sitting. They've been doing it all night with the 9 outfield players behind the ball. Really only Bagru. Chance here, though.
Klaus is back along with his teammates Boland and Lee. They'll stop this attack pretty quickly. Goal number just 23 on the season for Orlando. Average under 1 per game. Through the traffic, and Mbuyu across, puts it on just by. It's a corner kick, as it seems Jay getting a touch to it. And Orlando back on the attack just like that.
Oh, stellar work by Mbuyu there to basically split those two defenders, Tyler Pollak and Omar Mohamed. It was too easy there and ripped. Yeah, Dallas Jay got a key finger on that one.
Jorginho through the traffic, but going down there, knowing that he had the contact. A foul one for Orlando against Pollak. They'll try out the near flank, and Mbuyu cutting around Pollak, and he'll sky this towards Legacy Early College and out of play. Jay, a quick restart.
I mentioned Mbuyu. He's a dangerous player on that right side in Greenville. Seeing what he can do. Keep a very close, well, a much closer eye on him, I was going to say, because he's had a couple of good chances here in the last minute.
Orlando City B tonight trying to make a statement to the league. It would be their first road win here in 2019, coming in the final 2 weeks of the season. Again, I'm Chris Makovic, alongside me, Ross Davenport. As Greenville, they've been on an incredible run, 9-2-3 in their last 14, and the important number there, just 2 losses in their last 14, contributing to this great run to a playoff spot as of Tuesday. They're trying to get a home semifinal. They really would love a win tonight to help their effort towards that. Saul losing the ball back to Mbuyu. He's been all over it on the near flank. He'll win the throw in there for Orlando.
Yeah, just looked a little disjointed tonight, Greenville. They haven't been able to break down that Orlando, we'll say back 5, because Hammer just in front of the other of the back 4s. Formidable challenge so far tonight. They haven't created too many quality chances, except for that one Cameron saw one perhaps. Need to do something here in these final 24 minutes.
Great showing here tonight for Fan Appreciation Night. Over 4,000 fans in attendance. Bagru in the box, though, trickles on and by. Looked like a deflection, might be a corner kick for Orlando. What an opportunity on the through ball. I know it will be a goal kick as the shot went just on by that right post.
Yeah, Bagru is a big physical presence up top. That was a nice ball through. Let's take another look at it. Lovely weighted ball through. They perhaps just waited a little too long to get that ball across his body, and just not just enough to force Bagru to shoot wide.
Muhammad moves it up ahead. He goes down via Mbuyu.
You know what's coming here.
And a card will come against Mbuyu, who just came on as a sub in the match, and that is number 2 on the season for him. Look on the Bonsecourt replay.
Oof, yeah, nasty little late challenge from Mbuyu. He's never going to get to that ball, and stepped on the Achilles of Omar Mohammed. Hopefully he's okay. The old hands up, it wasn't me, but that was about as textbook of yellow as you'll see.
So we'll see what Greenville can do with this free kick. It's Pollak over at the captain, trying to spur the equalizer.
Try and put this one right on the penalty spot, you would think.
Tyler Pollak heaves it ahead. Donnelly up, but it went over his head. Pollak might have to save the day. Indeed he does, at least with the deflection off of Bagru. And it's back to Jay.
Yeah, Tyler Pollak had to hustle back quickly to stuff that attack out.
Here's Muhammad, left flank. Trying to slide over to Pollak, but Mbuyu's right there. Gets the interception.
Yeah, just not enough weight there on Omar Mohammed's pass. Careful here.
Evan Lee reading the situation and puts it out of play. Orlando here taking their time in minute 70. Someone will come up and take the throw-in. Spent 4 years at the University of Kentucky, Houston FC, and USL League 2 last summer. Another throw-in down the field. Hummel. The right back for Orlando. Service deflected off of Pollak. Out of play, and it's a goal kick for Dallas J. Fans, you can continue to enjoy the USL on ESPN through the 2022 season. The USL is excited to announce that the championship in League One will remain with the leader in sports for 3 more years. ESPN Plus will continue to be the home of all things USL, and at least 19 games a year will be featured on the ESPN family of networks, including 9 games on ESPN Deportes. Continue to follow, support, and watch your club on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Again, final match of our triple header in League One action coming up next, 10:30 Eastern Time start, and it will be Tucson and Madison. Muhammad, meanwhile, in the box, though. Cutting around, over to Bermudez. Lofts the ball in, a bit far off the target, as this will be skied away. And this ball goes out of play. A substitution coming on for Greenville, and will be brought to you by Holmes. Travis Ward will come on for the Triumph in place of Bermudez. Pride of Rowan in New Jersey. Travis Ward making appearance number 13 on the campaign.
Yeah, hopefully Travis Ward will provide some energy off the bench. He's got obviously fresh legs. He hasn't appeared in the last 2 games. Played 12 minutes or less off the bench in 3 games back in late August, early September. He can provide a spark. He did earlier this season. He had the goal against Lansing. 1-1 tie back in early May.
Again, that substitution brought to you by Holmes Underground Incorporated as Gomez goes down. He was trying to loosen up a bit on a previous stoppage in play, and there he went down, maybe feeling that a bit. Not something you want to see if you're a Greenville fan for sure. A player so hot on the field. Saul the other way, trying to get around Hill. He works it into the box, but cleared away.
Great work there by Cameron Saul. Cut back cross, just unfortunately nobody there for Greenville.
There's Pollak. Lee. Back to Seiler. Whips it on over. Muhammad skies it up. Still alive in the box for Greenville. Donnelly heads it on. Now Gomez brings it down, but no one on the run except Sade over to the ball.
Yeah, well, good defending from OCB. Forcing Greenville away from goal, not allowing to get any quality rebound chances inside that 18-yard box. We saw Carlos Gomez score that hat trick with 0 assists because he was pouncing on those balls. Orlando haven't allowed that to happen this evening.
Gomez down the left flank. Here's Muhammad. Muhammad cuts over, looking for some help. There's Saul. Saul, the quick turnaround, slices it. Saved by Sade. Ward the other way, deflected, and it's back with Orlando.
You see John Harkes waving his finger in the direction that Kevin Broadley didn't agree with that call. Cameron Saul once again, this time with his weaker right foot. Let's take another look at it.
That would have been in as well. So a huge save by the Orlando keeper. Free kick here for Orlando, the foul by Boland. Knocked up into the night, headed on, and Dallas J in between the pipes. It'll settle into his arms. Greenville, a really tough spot right now. About 16 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. They need a goal, and maybe 2 if they want to keep their hopes really alive for a home semifinal. Ball put on ahead. John goes down. Advantage is played.
Yeah, you can hear the frustration coming from the crowd. You can see the frustration sinking in a little bit with Greenville. The bounces and the calls not going their way here.
Bluebirds flying here at Legacy Early College as John is down, being tended to by his teammate Hill. Donnelly looking for an explanation, at least for now. You can read John Hart's lips saying, "What's that for?"
Yeah, it was a slightly late challenge, I think said by J.J. Donnelly.
On the back end there to stop the advantage. There was a foul, maybe by Ward. That's where it restarted, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, the advantage was played, I think, on the foul by J.J. Donnelly.
Knocked on out of play by Bagru, and it's a throw-in on the far side for Bolin. Take a look at this save from Sade.
Delightful turn by Cam Soin. He got just the inside of his right foot on it and almost curled it past Sade, but a nice way to get down low and knock that ball away.
Here come the Triumph. Muhammad out wide. Ward sends it in, knocked up and away. That yellow card was issued to Cameron Saul. Muhammad puts it in, but right into the open arms of the Orlando keeper. So for Cameron Saul, that was the third of the season, and he was caught up in the mix of that Brandon John foul that led to the advantage initially. There's Klaus. Pollak. Here's Donnelly. Still Donnelly past the challenge. Hill lets it go out of play, and it's a corner kick for Greenville. Another Finn's Car Wash corner kick, that is. And coming over to the ball, the Triumph and Carlos Gomez trying to equalize here in minute 78. Gomez lofts it over everyone. Headed on by Ward, and Buyu knocking it the wrong way out of play. It's a throw-in in the final third for Greenville.
Yeah, you can see OCB were ready for that deep corner kick. They had 5 or 6 guys there at the back post ready to clear it away. Greenville going to have to change something up in the set piece department.
Donnelly couldn't keep it alive. Finally cleared by Orlando. Klaus goes down. A foul against Orlando, I want to say. And another yellow comes out of the pocket. They're flying up here at Legacy Early College.
Yeah, Kevin Broadley knows he has to regain control of this game. He's started to lose it a little bit here in the last 10 minutes. You saw John Harks giving him some verbal from the sideline, letting him know he thinks that's the case. A little bit harsh there on Bagru. I mentioned how Kevin Broadley loves to hand out these cards, and he's lived up to it tonight. Let's take another look at that foul. Yeah, he came in with the hip, but whether that was a card, I'm not sure.
Second yellow of the season for Bagru. Another Mercer player. Here playing in USL League One. Ball lofted in. Seiler there, but over his head. It's a goal kick coming for Orlando.
You have to think with the way this OCB defense is playing, it's going to take a bit of magic from one of the guys in green to knot this game up. Still got 2 subs to make. John Harks.
This match getting more and more tense as it goes on. That's the 5th yellow card of the evening here through 80 minutes. Gomez knocks it on, cleared downfield though by Orlando. Dallas J will have to go hunting for this. There's Evan Lee. No road wins this year for Orlando, but they do have 3 home wins. Their last being on June 7th against Madison at Montfort Academy. Foul is called. And Buyu's the culprit. This is quickly taken though. Omar Muhammad the other way. He'll slice it back over. Saul's there. Still Cameron Saul. Knocks it up, goes down, and play stays alive with Orlando.
It's going to be a hectic the last 10 minutes here. It's going to be more and more of this end-to-end stuff as Greenville push players forward. You hear the crowd really getting hyped up now.
Omar Muhammad on the run. Cameron Saul in there. Ball put in, but Sade takes it on at the near post.
Yeah, it's a poor cross from Omar Muhammad there. Definitely some tired legs starting to show now for Greenville.
Back with Greenville. Klaus near side. Pollak on the run. Still Pollak. Knocks it on over. Travis Ward strikes it but sails it into the crowd.
I think Tyler Pollak was looking for the diagonal run from Cameron Saul, but didn't make it. Here's the chance from Travis Ward. And he just blasted over the bar by the substitute.
Last substitution coming on for Orlando City B. It will be Steven Hernandez, the former American International College player and native of Port Chester, New York, for appearance number 17. Edmundo Robinson comes on for Greenville in the stead of Omar Muhammad, adding some pace to the wings. Of course, that substitution brought to you by Holmes Underground Incorporated.
You hear the Reedy Riot counting how many seconds it's taking Sade to take his goal kick.
Headed up, out of play by Travis Ward, a throw in at midfield. Randy Mendoza and Orlando looking to pull. An incredible upset here towards the later stages of the season. Hernandez on the run. Still Hernandez. Gets it off Seiler. Corner kick for Orlando.
Yeah, I think it was sort of a perfect storm here tonight with Greenville in the third game in 8 days. You're missing 2 starters tonight in Collins and Walker, and obviously Keegan and Hemmings from earlier in the season. It's just things have just caught up a little bit with the guys in green, I think. Still a chance of getting that second spot, though. They just need some help from forward Madison next weekend.
Corner number 4 on the night for Orlando. Whipped up off of Boland, and it will go out of the box. No foul there as Lee drives it down the field. Here's Robinson, his first touch since coming on. Robinson, that's appearance number 11 on the season. He has 1 goal this year, but it is on a PK against North Texas earlier in the second half of the campaign. Here's Gomez, lofts it near side. Robinson cuts back in, knocked away by Hummel. Now Gomez, they'll change flanks. Klaus. Pollak.
You're not seeing any movement at the up top for the Triumph at the moment. Everybody's just sort of standing there waiting for the pass to come to them.
Ward, back over to Pollak. Try to get back in, knocked up ahead. On the run is Ward, but Mendoza will whack this into the night. It stays in play. Seiler heads it on. Gomez there, flicks it up, still alive in the box. And out of play, what's the call? Goal kick.
Carlos Gomez unhappy with the goal, but I think it was the right one by Kevin Broly. The ball just wouldn't fall nicely for Carlos Gomez like it did when he had that hat trick recently. Just bounce there just didn't favor him. Another bounce there, yeah, definitely came off Gomez. And out for the goal kick.
There's Jordan Hill trying to clear, went right off Gomez as we wait for this Orlando goal kick. McGrew down for Orlando. Who's up, who's down, where's your club sit? Find out every Monday in the official USL League One Power Rankings, only on USLLeague1.com. Here in the 85th, brief water break here for both sides. Trying to get back equal is Greenville, but Orlando still searching for their first road victory of this campaign.
Yeah, a little disappointing. Such a great crowd here tonight, and they really haven't got to see their team play to their full potential, but it's been an amazing turnout all season for the fans here in the upstate, especially with the Reedy River Riot. And with the transitional nature of some of these pro leagues at this level, you may not see all these guys here next year, especially the way Greenville have played this season. You have to think that some USL Championship teams are going to come in and perhaps poach some of these quality players that Greenville has. It's maybe the last time these Greenville fans get to see them live at Legacy, but again, still a chance they could win, get that that home semi-final on either likely the 11th or the 12th of October.
Sammy Gadiri on for Carlos Gomez. Again, presented by Homes Underground Incorporated. And Gadiri on now for the 15th time this season.
Greenville have had plenty of heroes step up at the right time this season. Who's going to be the hero tonight, perhaps? We'll see.
And Buyu. Now Raphael. Over to Hummel. Ahead, out of play, it's back to Greenville. And what has helped the second half run of the season by Greenville has been that team mentality. Even in the last 3 games, new faces popping up. It was Gomez, then it was Klaus, and this week it was Saul in Tucson. Here's Lee. Klaus. Ward flicks it on ahead to himself. Trying to get around the outside towards the end line, out of play. Corner kick to Greenville.
Good work there by Travis Ward. That's what he brings, some strength. Speed. Just got that cross in and earned his team a corner. Tyler Pollak will take.
8th corner kick of the night, presented by Finn's Car Wash.
See if they change things up here or continue to go to that far post.
Pollak whips it in, knocked down and cleared.
A little bit more into the mixer that time, but nobody waiting on the penalty spot. I think you probably won't see Greenville do tonight is pull Dallas J perhaps after what happened on Tuesday night. We'll see. John Hark said it was a tactic that he didn't think he would see.
Jay knocks us downfield. Headed on. Going down to Seiler. Saul falls for. He takes a strike, but it trickles on by. It should be a corner kick, but no, it's ruled a goal kick. It looked like a deflection along the way. We'll have to see as the Reedy River Riot tried to cheer on Greenville to an equalizer. Play continues, and it's back to Klaus.
Yeah, Cameron Saul was the one that kicked it. He was screaming for the corner kick. It wouldn't be the first time we've seen an odd decision from Broadley tonight.
Gadiri on through. Back with Orlando briefly, and it falls to Evan Lee. Gadiri. Ball whipped in. Free there. Robinson didn't get to it in time. Here's Pollak. Lofts it in. Back post. Only Orlando there. Headed back on. Goes down. And off the chest, says Kevin Broadley.
Yeah, some appeals for handball. Uh-oh. Trouble here.
Bolin losing the ball the other way. And saved by Jay. John heads it back. The life here for Greenville via Dallas J as Bolin gave it up at the back.
Yeah, Bolin did a good job of not giving up on that though, and did just enough to perhaps put the Gru off. Dallas J always did a great job of coming out and narrowing the angle. Here's Gadiri now.
Saul, Gadiri, back over and knocked away. Here's Mbuyu, but Donnelly takes it in, and going down is Mbuyu. The foul is called against the Greenville striker.
JJ Donnelly just had good body position on that one, but Mbuyu went down like he was shot.
We have entered stoppage time here at Legacy Early College. Still 1-0 to Orlando on the LaGru goal off of the pseudo assist on the tight free kick from Serginho. 4 minutes of stoppage time presented by Warehouse Services Incorporated.
Now look at the foul here. Yeah, did catch him a little bit with the shoulder. Didn't really need to be done by JJ Donnelly. He had the half step on Mbuyu, but Mbuyu did go down very easily.
Travis Ward on the run down the far flank against Steven Hernandez. Knocked out of play by Mendoza. Good stop by John Harks as he'll spur his squad forward. Kadiri goes down from behind against Raphael. And a free kick that certainly can be put into the box for Greenville. Pollak sends it on over, cleared back away, out for a throw-in. There's Lee, heads it forward into the box. Donnelly knocks it on, here's Pollak.
See what this means to Tyler Pollak. He's all the way over on the right-hand side, complete opposite side from his position.
Knocked on by Seiler, alive there, Lee chests it down, cleared up. Not far enough, though, for Orlando.
Yeah, the ball just bouncing in the wrong spot, the wrong height for Greenville so far tonight. Just can't seem to get that quality strike and force Sade to make a decent save. He made that low one earlier.
Red card to Serginho on the end of that play. And suddenly Orlando down to 10 men. They lead the league in red cards with that one.
Paul Klaus is incensed. I'm not sure what Serginho did. Maybe we perhaps caught it on the camera, but again, apparently the OCB staff didn't do the research that I did on Kevin Broadley. This is his 6th red card given out this season in 16 contests, or 17 contests, 15 in championship, 1 in League One. And Serginho, the latest victim.
We've seen 6 yellows to this point, and now we see red. Serginho off for the remaining 1 minute of stoppage time. And Pollak with the set piece on the near side. Of course, with that, he will miss the final match for Orlando City B coming up.
Greenville players need to be careful here that none of them pick up a stupid card here in the last few minutes, because that would force them obviously to miss the next match. Much more critical than perhaps giving up a second goal if they had to.
A lot of time coming off. This may be the final chance for Greenville. Pollak. Headed away by Hill. Lee keeping it alive. No, Hernandez clearing it out. A corner kick for Greenville at the death. Presented by Finn's Car Wash. And Pollak heading over to take it. Ward by his side. The last hope rests with the captain. Offed it in, knocked away Orlando. They have room to run here, but here comes Edmundo Robinson to help out Boland.
Good job there by Dallas J playing the sweeper keeper and intercepting that pass. Oh, lovely touch there by Mbuyu.
Off of Seiler, out of play, and a frustrating night continues for Greenville. Knocked on by Saul. Donnelly can't get there. Out of play, throw in for Greenville. We play on. Knocked down. Good touch by Saul. Steps ahead, through ball, no good. And it's back with Orlando. And there is the final whistle. And the first road win for Orlando this season comes at the perfect time for Lansing Ignite. Surely the assembly line celebrating, back in control, looking to host the semifinal. Now they just have to win over Madison, as Greenville will still hold on to hope, headed to Tormenta. But at the moment, it's all Orlando City beat tonight, 1-0. They win against Greenville.
Yeah, disappointing, especially coming off Tuesday's high of clinching that playoff spot, but still not the end of the world. Definitely be paying close attention to tonight's Tucson-Madison match and the Chattanooga match tomorrow. They'll be hoping that forwards still perhaps need a win in that last game against Lansing.
There's William Bagru, the goal that clinched this road victory for OCB on a great opportunity by Serginho. Coming up, we'll take a look at our full match highlights and stats. A disappointing night for Greenville, but Orlando City beat Kings here in the upstate. They win 1-0 in our match presented here by Knight Performance Factory. We'll be right back. Highlights and stats here from Legacy Early College.
Join Finn's Top Wash Club for unlimited monthly washes at one low price. Finn's Car Wash, proudly created by AAA.
Play will continue. Keegan back across, it's in! Greenville on the board at home, it's 1-1.
So with all the games and the trainings that we have in this lovely South Carolina weather, recovery is obviously very important for us in order to be able to perform on the weekends. And we do a lot of different things as players in order to recover properly. A big thing that we do is we go to Upstate Spine and Sport with Dr. J and his assistants, and they do a great job for us. They do some chiro work, they do some cupping, they'll do stretching, they'll do massage, they'll do a lot of different things for us, and we go there Tuesday every week, and additionally if we need it before the game. And I think it's great for us in order to kind of get through the week of training, because it can be difficult, we push ourselves hard, and then to be rested and ready to go by the weekend.
It's only fitting that a city that has so successfully triumphed has a team that honors that.
Welcome back here into Legacy Early College. OCB celebrating their first road win of the season in our post game now, presented by Knight Performance Factory, as we get set for our highlights from the match in front of us. Greenville, a disappointing night, chances all around, and we'll see them here in our full-time highlights presented by KW Beverage.
Yeah, it was a KG first half. Both teams with some half chances. Just the first one here from Mendoza. He's found plenty of space 25 yards out, but his right-footed shot was right at Dallas J.
32 shots combined by the two teams here tonight. Just 8 on target. Greenville would see some of those early on.
It's one of those traditional back post set pieces for Greenville. That was one of the ones that almost paid off. It wasn't very successful though over the 90 minutes, unfortunately.
Keeping this alive, Saul from the left side.
Yeah, whipped that right across. That was one of their best chances of the first half. Cameron Saul had one late in this game from a couple of yards out. He'll probably want back tonight when he sees the replay.
And here comes where the opportunity began. Boland getting the push off the ball, and a free kick on the left side, won by Mendoza. Here comes the opportunity.
Yeah, it's a great delivery, and just got enough of a touch on it that Begrew, the Greenville players were kind of standing and watching a little bit, not going towards that ball, and deserved a goal.
Yeah, for Begrew, his third on the season on the deflection on through off the free kick by Serginho, and OCB, credit to them, they kept up the attack into the second half beyond that goal.
Yeah, and Mbuyu was very impressive once he came on, splits the defenders there and ripped a shot across that Dallas J just got a fingertip on. May not have crept it inside that far post, but Dallas J didn't know that. He had to be down quickly.
And Dallas J getting a few key stops here tonight to keep Greenville alive. But you see it here. So many shots in both teams despite that goal by OCB. Not really on point in the shot on target category as we check out our full-time match stats presented by Sierra Nevada.
Yeah, I think all in all, just everything kind of caught up with Greenville tonight. The travel, the injured players, playing a hungry young opposition at home, and disappointing way for them to end their home campaign. But obviously, still be happy with the playoff berth, and have to keep an eye on some of the matches tonight and tomorrow to see if they have a chance coming into next week.
6 yellow cards, 1 red in stoppage time to Serginho. Really putting a stamp on a frustrating night for Greenville, and a tense one there on the field in the physical battle in front of us. As you mentioned, Ross, coming up next at 10:30 Eastern time will be Tucson and Madison doing battle. Here's our updated standings, and this is so important for Lansing Ignite. Now Lansing with a win over Madison, they can host that home semifinal. But for Greenville, they have to keep an eye on what Lansing does at 3 p.m. Eastern time coming up next Saturday, as they will have to get a win, hope for a loss by Lansing when they visit Tormenta.
Yep, Lansing, all they need is that point now in that Madison match to secure that second spot. Greenville needing help now that they've lost control of their own destiny, unfortunately.
We started the season in Statesboro. That's where we'll end things, 8 p.m. next Saturday between Tormenta and Triumph. But our day not done here in League One. Coming up next, 10:30 Eastern time, will be Tucson Madison. Make sure to check that out right here on ESPN+. For our entire crew, alongside me, Ross Davenport, I'm Chris Makoviak. Thank you for joining us here for the Greenville Triumph matches all this season on ESPN+, and maybe further into the playoffs. We'll see what happens. Lansing and Greenville doing battle until the final weekend. Have a great night, folks. Check out Tucson Madison coming up next.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.